Alright, what is up everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to talk about Celtics Knicks. The Knicks are somehow up 2-0 in this series. I'm going to try to formulate in my mind how the Knicks are up in this series because this is crazy. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications to all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, getting closer and closer as the days go on. So all support around the channel be very much appreciated. Look to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't want to say any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So, the New York Knicks are up 2-0 on the Boston Celtics. They've won 2 games in TD Garden where the Celtics blew 2 20-point leads. How are we here? Coming into the series, honestly, we saw what happened in the regular season. We know what the Celtics are. We know what the Knicks are. We said Boston's probably going to take care of the Knicks. It might be a 5, maybe 4-game series, but we all knew the Celtics are going to end up on top at the end of the day. It has gone anything but that in this series. The Knicks have stolen 2 games in Boston, and both very similar, where they have a rough start to a game, turnovers, fouls, or whatever it is, get down 20 at one point in the third quarter, and then all of a sudden they just say, all right, now let's start playing basketball. And the Celtics decide, you know what, let's just have a 3-point shooting contest. And the Knicks have grinded their way to 2 victories. And now all of a sudden, this series has completely flipped on its head. We are in probably the craziest timeline right now, not even just with this series, but the entire second round has just been absolutely insane. I mean, the Pacers are up 2-0 on the Cavaliers. The Nuggets and OKC are tied at 1-1. It's been insane this second round. But this series has just been wow. So how has this been happening? The Knicks, the credit, you gotta give a lot of credit to a lot of the Knicks all around. This team. Um, the way that they're able to fight, the way they're able to stay in games. In game one, it was, they're down 20 early. It was a lot of fouls. Jalen Brunson and Carl Towns both had like 3 fouls in the first half. It was really rough. But OG Anunoby was a spark plug. In game one, he had a big, kind of ignited this comeback near the end of the third quarter. And then Jalen Brunson does what Jalen Brunson does. Clutch player of the year. He had 2 big 3-pointers. And the Celtics just could not make a shot to save their lives from 3 in the fourth quarter. We go to overtime. Jason Tatum decides to take a step back 3-pointer over Mitch Robinson to win the game. That doesn't work. Jalen Brunson misses probably the easiest shot got all night on a floater that he missed. We'll go to overtime. But the Knicks end up winning because Mikal Bridges locks down defensively. He makes some clutch hustle plays in the overtime and takes the ball in Jalen Brown's hands at the end of game one. We go to game two. The Knicks fouls in the it was turnovers. Turnovers in the first half. But the Celtics weren't shooting great either. Tatum had a really rough first half to get like 2-3 points in the first half. Jalen Brown and Derek White were kind of carrying them. But Anthony Towns was big in game two. Josh Hart also offensively was big in game two. Then we get to a third quarter where the Celtics start to take over. Some shots start to fall. And it's like, okay, here come the Celtics. 20-point lead. And then Mikal Bridges, when it comes to the fourth quarter. Mikal Bridges, who was scoreless for the first 3 quarters, came out in the fourth quarter and was hitting everything. Getting to the mid-range, hit some threes, just hitting some big shots that really brought this team back. Josh Hart as well was rebounding the ball. He was being aggressive getting to the line. Cat do the same despite Jalen Brunson not really having an amazing game. And the Celtics once again go into the fourth quarter and just cannot hit a 3 to save their lives. And it comes down to the last few possessions. And they foul Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is 2 free throws. Celtics come down. They don't call timeout because Joe Mazzulla, we know at this point, Joe Mazzulla doesn't do that. He lets his players dictate the game. Jason Tatum comes down, tries to get some shot off. That shout out to OG and Mitchell Robinson. Of course, a lot of people talk about Mikal, and obviously he made the big play. But if it wasn't for OG and Mitchell Robinson stopping him and forcing him into that baseline, that play doesn't happen. And the Celtics just 2 collapses. For the Knicks, it's been a fight. This Knicks team, I've said it multiple times during the regular season and all that stuff. This Knicks team doesn't have really the same kind of fight and aggressiveness that we usually see Knicks teams like from last year and the year before, where they had grit and grind, like grinded out type of wins and players that aren't afraid to do the dirty work and stuff. This isn't that type of Knicks team. You have Mikal could do it defensively. OG's a good defender. Josh Hart's going to do it. But, Carl Towns isn't really that type of player. They've had injuries to like Mitchell Robinson, so they don't really have that same kind of just dog mentality in them. But through these 2 games, they have found it. Whether it's Mikal Bridges taking the ball out of people's hands and stopping, whether it's OG Anunoby getting to the rim, whether it's Josh Hart making plays all over the court, whether it's Anthony Towns, who's only taking 2 3-pointers. in this series in 2 games. He's been really aggressive in terms of attacking the rim, getting to the rim, fade away, like getting to the bucket, and then Jalen Brunson obviously is going to come out and do his thing. But they have really just been, has really been outworking and outfighting the Celtics, especially when it comes to the fourth quarter. So you got to give credit to them. They always find a way, even though they're down 20, to cut into the lead at some point. Whether it's Conley Towns in game 2, OG Anunoby in game 1, Mikal Bridges in game 2, someone has always stepped up besides Jalen Brunson and has found and has kind of jump started a run. Again, game 1 it was OG in the mid third quarter. Game 2 it was Mikal Bridges in the fourth quarter. They found a way to kind of jumpstart a run that ultimately gives the Knicks confidence. Obviously, you got to talk about the Knicks comebacks. It's been awesome. But also, the interesting thing is the Knicks haven't really played super amazing basketball. I mean, they've had a lot of turnovers in this series, a lot of foul trouble. They're not shooting the ball well from the free throw line. A lot of that is Mitch Robinson. But they haven't really played like some insane, stellar basketball when it comes where it's like they're playing the best basketball they could ever play. And they're putting up 120, 130 points. Like, they're grinding out these wins. Like, they're somehow just finding little battles to win, finding little sparks where the Celtics go cold and taking advantage of it in the best way possible. You got to give credit to the Knicks. And they probably do have like a chip on their shoulder, obviously. I mean, I think everybody in the world picked Boston. Even Stephen A. Smith and people on TV were saying if the Knicks get one win, that would be like kind of a success. So they got to have seen all that, have a chip on their shoulder, be like, oh, no one thinks we can do anything in this series. Watch this. So you got to have credit. But a lot of this is more on the Boston Celtics and the collapse that they have had in the 2 games. The Celtics, we know they are a team. They live by the 3. Their whole game plan, everything is 3-pointers. And they shoot a lot of 3s because they think in their head, if we just shoot so many 3s, eventually they're going to just fall and they're going to just add up. And you're not going to take nearly the amount of 3s as we do. And we're just going to win that way. We're going to play a numbers game. And last year it worked and won them a championship. This year, they won them 60 games. It's worked. But there's a saying that is said around the NBA. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. I mostly atone that to that automatically makes me think of those Rockets teams back in 2018, 2017 with James Harden, Mike D'Antoni, where it was it's either going to corner 3 or a layup. No mid range, it's either James Harden's going to shoot a step back 3, James Harden's going to get to the rim and get fouled over a layup, or someone else is going to take a corner or wing 3. Nothing else. And that was a team that literally, they lived by the 3, and they died by the 3, because they had a game where they missed 27 straight 3s in a game 7. And right now, we're seeing the Celtics kind of die by the 3 ball. Right now, they have taken 100 3s. In 2 games, they've taken 100 3s. They've only made 25 of them. 25 for 100. The Knicks have taken 68 threes. The Knicks have taken 32 less threes and have made 26. The Knicks have taken 32 less 3-pointers and have still have more 3-pointers made in this series than the Celtics do. Think about that for a second. 32 less threes, and they still have more than Boston. That's just, and a lot of them, obviously the 3-ball kind of rules right now. Everybody's trying to get a 3-ball. Everybody, that's what it kind of is. But there's different ways to get a 3 and different times when to shoot the 3. The driving kick 3s, the in transition 3, those are the 3s you want. Not just walking up the court, there's 15 on the shot clock, and it's just hey, you know what? One pass and then just bullet. But why not? And that's what the Celtics kind of have become in these 2 games, especially in game 1. And game 1 was the big thing. They took 63s in game 1, only made 15 of them. And in the fourth quarter, they were 2 for 15 from 3. Jason Tatum 0 for 5. Derek White, Jahade 1 for 4. 2 for 15 in fourth quarter, and 1 for 3 in overtime. So overall, in the final 2 quarters, they were 3 for 18 from 3. Meanwhile, the Knicks were 7 for 14 from 3. So, in that fourth quarter, they took 21. Celtics took 21 field goals in the fourth quarter of game 1. 15 of them were 3-pointers. And they went 2 for 6 on the 2-point attempts, 2 for 15 on 3-point attempts. Jason Tatum 0 for 7, 0 for 5 from 3, only 2 points on free throws. That's unacceptable. In that circumstance, being the star player. And in overtime, he made 1 shot. Jaylen Brown made a shot. That's it. That's all they did. We go to game 2, and it's okay, the Celtics might have learned. You know, they weren't taking a crazy amount of threes in the first half. They weren't falling, so Jaylen Brown made an emphasis to get to the basket and all that stuff. We go to the fourth quarter of game two. The Celtics, 2 for 11 from three. And it was Payne Pritchard only made two. The starters for the Celtics went 0 for 7 from three. And overall, they went 2 for, let's see, 9, 12, 2 for 18. The Celtics starters went 2 for 18 shooting in the fourth quarter. 2 for 18. Tatum made a shot. Al Horford made a shot. That's it. They didn't make a three. They got 4 free throws. Only scored 17 points. And yeah, Jaylen Brown 0 for 4. Jason Tatum 1 for 5. In the two fourth quarters that we've had of this series, Jason Tatum is what? A 1 for 12 in the fourth quarter with 6 points. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 6 points in the fourth quarter of these two games. That is unacceptable. I mean, obviously, Jason Tatum's got a lot of criticism over the past year. A lot of it, for me, I've been a defender of it because it's been really stupid reasons. Obviously, on like social media and stuff, it's been weird. But these two games and this series, he does not look like the best player on the court. He's not look like the best player on his team, and that's a problem for the Celtics. That's a problem, especially when it comes down to close games where you're on the verge of blowing a 20-point lead and you need your stars to kind of right the ship, and it just hasn't worked for him. He's been settling a lot. His shot isn't falling again. He hasn't really been able to attack the rim, attack the basket. You know, Jaylen Brown as well. Jaylen Brown 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter after having a big first half. That's also unacceptable. Can't be having that. Can't be having your two-star players combine for 4 points in the fourth quarter of the game. That's just not. Can't win games like that. And just the utter collapses. Like, I've never seen a championship team, a team with championship pedigree, and a team with this many, like experience. Like, almost everybody that plays for the Celtics, their whole starting five has been in the playoffs for so long. Tatum, Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday, all five of those guys are champions, obviously. But also, like, these guys are like, if you want anyone on your team as like veteran experience for playoffs, these are the guys you want on your team. And it's so crazy to see a team with so much experience and a championship and this much like championship DNA just not be able to close out and just looks scared and like not ready to close out a game in a playoff series. It's crazy to me that this team won a championship last year and they're coming into this situation and they just look like they don't know how to handle themselves. They just look around and be like, chuck a three. Go ahead, chuck a three. We gotta just chuck the shot. Like, it's just so crazy to see that. Even not even just shooting. I mean, the Knicks out rebounded them in the fourth. At this game two, fourth quarter, 17-10. Knicks had 6 offensive rebounds. Josh Hart 3 offensive rebounds. I know he does that, but dang, Mitchell Robinson 2 offensive rebounds. You know, yeah. And the Knicks weren't even. Knicks shot 3 for 10 from three in the quarter. It was like the Knicks were going crazy from three, but the Knicks, you know what they did? They shot 50% from the field because besides threes, they shot 9 for 14. 9 for 14 from the field, get it done. Boston, they were 3 for 13 in the fourth quarter, non-threes. So, yeah, it's just been so crazy to watch this Celtics team kind of collapse in the last 2 games. And now, these are 2 must-win games, obviously. I mean, on the road, I mean, again, it's not impossible. I mean, if the Knicks can come into Boston and win 2 games, there's no reason why Boston can't go to New York and win 2 games. But just the momentum is all the Knicks' way. Like, the Knicks will never feel not comfortable in a game now, I feel like. Like, you go into game 3, you got to go up 40 at one point. You got to do what OKC did in game 2 to Denver last night, where they just said, no, we're not having any of that, up by 46. Like, you got to dang near get to that point for they can be comfortable. Because if it's still a 17, 16-point game going in the fourth quarter, in the third quarter, the Knicks are be like, okay, you saw what happened the last 2 games? We're good. We are in here. And it's just, it's crazy, man. It is really wild. I don't think anybody could have predicted anything like this to happen. The Celtics got to tighten up. Celtics got to tighten up. You need your star players, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They need to be better. Especially Jason Tatum. I mean, Jason Tatum's averaging, what? 18, 15, and 5, shooting 28% from the field, 25% from 3. He's getting outscored by Derek White and Jaylen Brown. He's got the lowest field goal percentage on the team besides Al Horford, who's shooting 23%. Like, yeah, and everyone else, I mean, the only Celtics shooting good from 3 right now is Payne Pritchard at 35%. You also have the Porzingis thing, where Porzingis, that illness that he suffered back in March and that he missed a week for, he still doesn't look right. This entire playoffs, he has not been able to shoot the ball well. He just doesn't look right at all. And not having him is a key piece. You know, I said it last year, and like Kristaps Porzingis is the piece that makes the Celtics like, damn, how do you do that? How do you stop this? Like obviously last year they won a championship even though he didn't really play a whole lot, but still Porzingis is kind of like the game changer, where it's like there's still a really good team without Porzingis, obviously, but you put Porzingis in there, it's like, what are you supposed to do? You got a 7'3" center that can shoot, can get in the post, block shots. Like he's kind of like the do it all game changer. And not having him obviously is big in this series. Especially going up against Towns and Mitch Robinson and a lot of guys are trying to go to the paint. But yeah, man, the Celtics got to figure something out. They got to look inside and find that championship DNA and just, it's tough to say change the way you play because these entire last 2 years, they've been a team that obviously has shot a lot of threes. That's what their motto is. That's what they do. They won a championship off it last year. So it's hard to say in the middle of this playoff series, like, okay, we're changing everything that we've ever done in the last 2 years. Like, it's hard to do that, but there's got to be a balance. There's got to be a balance. There's got to be some sort of pride you have as well. Like, up 20 at home, and you're reeling, just being like, okay, we just got to get an easy bucket. But they just haven't been able to do that. So they got to be a lot better. Game 3 is obviously going to be a must win. Game 3 is going to be a must watch because we'll see how that goes down. And yeah, shout out to the Knicks, man. Shout out to the Knicks. No matter, I think no matter what happens in this series from now on, Celtics come out and win 4 straight. I don't care. The Knicks, for them to do what they've done in this series and give us the entertainment they have, I can't really ask for much more at this point. Can't really ask for much more. It's been so entertaining to watch. And yeah, we'll see how this series continues. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, doing all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. Once again, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so all support on our channel will be very much appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.